How are you guys doing? Today is Sunday, February 6th, 2022. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review yesterday's Elite performances and matchups from Saturday, February 5th. And right before I preview everything that's going on today, I'm going to take a quick step back and look at where we are in the calendar year. As we are 2 months into 2022. Starting off with football, there are only two teams that are left competing for Super Bowl 56 this year. They are the Cincinnati Bengals, the 4th seed in the AFC, and the St. Louis Rams, the 4th seed in the NFC. They are slated to play against each other next week, and after next week, the NFL season will be over until about my 23rd birthday in September. And then, of course, in basketball, we are in the second half of both the college and the professional basketball seasons. Not to mention that because we are in 2022, it means we're in the second half of the soccer seasons as well. Not to mention that there are two teams left in the AFCON final, and after today's game, the African Cup of Nations will be done for this year. Taking a look first at what's going on with college basketball here in the States, starting off with the number one team in the nation, the Auburn Tigers would go to Georgia and face off against the unranked Georgia Bulldogs. Top-ranked Auburn would beat unranked Georgia 74-72. They won by 2 points after outscoring Georgia by 12 in the first quarter. With this win, the top-ranked Auburn Tigers are now 22-1. They are now 10-0 in the SEC. And with this loss, the unranked Georgia Bulldogs are now 6-17. They are now 1-9 in the SEC. They have the worst record in the conference. And on the other end, Auburn has the best record in the SEC as a result. Taking a look at what's going on with the second-ranked team in the nation, the second-ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs were able to beat the unranked BYU Wildcats in Utah. The second-ranked Bulldogs would beat BYU 90-57. They won this matchup by 33 after they outscored BYU by 24 in the first half, and they went on to outscore BYU by 9 in the second half. On the winning end of this matchup, the second-ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs were led in scoring by their starting center, Chet Holmgren, their freshman. He finished with 20 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists, and 5 blocks in 28 minutes. He shot 9 for 14 from the field and 2 for 5 from 3. With this win, the second-ranked Gonzaga Bulldogs are 19-2. They are 8-0 in the West Coast Conference. They are the only team in the West Coast Conference that is undefeated. And as a result, they are the only team that is ranked in the West Coast Conference. With this loss, the unranked BYU Cougars are 17-8. They are 5-5 in the WCC. Taking a look at what happened with the third-ranked team in the nation, the UCLA Bruins went to Tempe, Arizona to face off against the unranked Arizona State Sun Devils. Arizona State would upset the number 3 team in the nation. They won this matchup 87-84 in triple overtime. In the 3 overtimes combined, they outscored UCLA 25-22. On the losing end of this matchup, the third-ranked UCLA Bruins were led in scoring by their starting guard, Jaime Jaquez Jr. He finished with 27 points and 11 rebounds in 50 minutes. He shot 8 for 17 from the field, and he shot 10 for 13 from the foul line. Their starting guard, Johnny Juzang, finished with 20 points and 10 rebounds in 50 minutes. He shot 8 for 22 from the field and a perfect 3 for 3 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the unranked Arizona State Sun Devils were led in scoring by their guard off the bench, Marion Jackson out of Cleveland, Ohio. He went on to finish with 24 points and 3 steals in 40 minutes. He shot 7 for 18 from the field, 4 for 11 from 3, and 6 for 8 from the foul line. With this win, the unranked Arizona State Sun Devils are 7-13. They are 3-7 in the Pac-12. That is the 4th worst record in the conference. With this loss, the third-ranked UCLA Bruins are 16-4. They are 8-3 in the Pac-12. They are tied with Oregon for the second-best record in the conference behind Arizona. Taking a look now at what went down with the number 4 ranked team in the nation, the Purdue Boilermakers hosted the unranked Michigan Wolverines. Purdue was able to beat Michigan 82-76. Purdue won this matchup by 6 after outscoring Michigan by 6 in the first half. On the winning end of this matchup, the hometown Purdue Boilermakers were led in scoring by their starting guard, Jaden Ivey. Their starting sophomore out of South Bend would finish with 23 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. He did all this in 37 minutes. He shot 8 for 18 from the field, and he shot 7 for 8 from the foul line. With this win, the fourth-ranked Purdue Boilermakers are now 20-3. They are now 9-3 in the Big Ten Conference. They are tied with Wisconsin for the second-best record in the conference in total. And with this loss, the unranked Michigan Wolverines are 11-9. They are 5-5 in the Big Ten this season. Taking a look at what's going on with the fifth-ranked team in this nation, on primetime television, the fifth-ranked Kentucky Wildcats went to Tuscaloosa, Alabama to face off against the unranked Alabama Crimson Tide. Kentucky beat Alabama 66-55. They won this matchup by 11 after outscoring Alabama by 6 in the first half and 5 in the second. On the winning end of this matchup, the fifth-ranked Wildcats were led in scoring by their starting guard, Ty Washington Jr. He finished with 15 points in 32 minutes. He shot 6 for 15 from the field and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. With this win, the fifth-ranked Kentucky Wildcats are 19-4. They are 8-2 in the SEC. That is the second-best conference, or the second-best record in the conference. With this loss, the unranked Alabama Crimson Tide are 14-9. They are 4-6 in the SEC. Taking a look now at what is going on with the seventh-ranked team in the nation, the Arizona Wildcats hosted the 19th-ranked USC Trojans. Arizona beat USC 72-63. They won this game by 9 after outscoring USC by 8 in the second half. On the losing end of this matchup, the 19th-ranked USC Trojans were led in scoring by their starting forward, Isaiah Mobley. He finished with 15 points and 7 rebounds in 38 minutes. He shot 6 for 14 from the field and 1 for 2 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the 7th-ranked Arizona Wildcats were led in scoring by their starting forward, Azuolas Tubelis. Their starting sophomore out of Lithuania would finish with 18 points and 11 rebounds in 26 minutes. He shot 7 for 15 from the field, and with this win, the 7th-ranked Arizona Wildcats are now 19-2. They are 9-1 in the Pac-12. They hold the best record in the conference. With this loss, the 19th-ranked USC Trojans are now 19-4. They are 9-4 in the Pac-12. Sitting at 19, they are holding the 6th best record in the Pac-12 at the moment. Now taking a look at what's going on with the 8th-ranked team in the nation, the defending champs Baylor Bears went to Lawrence, Kansas to face off against the 10th-ranked Kansas Jayhawks. Kansas would end up beating the defending champs 83-59. They won this matchup by 24 points after they outscored Baylor by 18 in the first half. On the losing end of this matchup, the 8th-ranked Baylor Bears were led in scoring by their starting guard, Adam Flagler. Their starting junior out of Georgia finished with 16 points and 4 steals in 27 minutes. He shot 6 for 15 from the field, 3 for 8 from 3, and he made his only free throw of the day. And on the winning end of this matchup, the 10th-ranked Kansas Jayhawks were led in scoring by their starting guards, Christian Braun and Ochai Agbaji. Braun finished with 18 points and 10 rebounds in 33 minutes. He shot 8 for 14 from the field, and he made his only free throw attempt of the day. Agbaji finished with 18 points and 9 rebounds in 31 minutes as he shot 5 for 11 from the field, 2 for 6 from 3, and 6 for 7 from the foul line. With this win, the 10th-ranked Kansas Jayhawks are 19-3. They are 8-1 in the Big 12. They hold the best record in the Big 12. They are the only team with 1 loss so far. With this loss, the 8th-ranked defending champs Baylor Bears are 19-4. They are 7-3 in the Big 12. They are tied with Texas Tech for the second-best record in the conference. Taking a look now at what is going down with the 9th-ranked team in the nation, my alma mater, Duke Blue Devils, will go to Chapel Hill to face off against the unranked North Carolina Tar Heels in Coach Krzyzewski's last game coaching Duke at UNC. Duke won this game 87-67. They won this matchup by 20 after they outscored North Carolina by 11 in the first half and by 9 in the second half. On the winning end of this matchup, the ninth-ranked Duke Blue Devils were led in scoring by their freshman starting forward, A.J. Griffin. He finished with 27 points in 31 minutes. He shot 11 for 17 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, and he shot a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. And with this win, the ninth-ranked Duke Blue Devils are now 19-3. They are now 9-2 in the ACC. They have the best record in the conference so far. They are the only team with 2 losses. And with this loss, the unranked North Carolina Tar Heels are now 16-7. They are now 8-4 in the ACC. Duke remains the only team in the ACC that is ranked so far. Looking at the 11th ranked team in the nation, the Wisconsin Badgers hosted the unranked Penn State Nittany Lions. Wisconsin beat Penn State 51-49. They won this matchup by 2 after outscoring Penn State by 5, 18-13 in the first half, and a very low-scoring offensive first half. On the winning end of this matchup, the 11th-ranked Wisconsin Badgers were led in scoring by their starting forward, Steven Crowell. Their starting sophomore out of Michigan would finish with 13 points and 5 assists in 25 minutes. He shot 5 for 8 from the field and 3 for 5 from 3. With this win, the 11th-ranked Wisconsin Badgers are 18-4. They are 9-3 in the Big Ten. They are tied with Purdue for the second best record in the conference. With this loss, the unranked Penn State Nittany Lions are now 9-10. They are now 4-7 in the Big Ten so far. Taking a look now at what's going on with the 12th ranked team in the nation, the Villanova Wildcats would host the 17th ranked UConn Huskies. Villanova beat UConn 85-74. They won this matchup by 11 after they outscored UConn by 11 in the first half. On the losing end of this matchup, the 17th ranked Huskies were led in scoring by their starting guard, R.J. Cole. He finished with 25 points and 5 turnovers, as well as 2 steals in 36 minutes. He shot 7 for 13 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and a perfect 9 for 9 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the 12th ranked Villanova Wildcats were led in scoring by their starting forward, Eric Dixon. Their starting sophomore out of Pennsylvania would finish with 24 points and 12 rebounds, all of this in 33 minutes. He shot 10 for 15 from the field and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. With this win, the 12th ranked Villanova Wildcats are 17-6. They are 10-3 in the Big East. That is the second best record in the conference behind Providence. With this loss, the 17th ranked UConn Huskies are 15-6. They are now 6-4 in the Big East. That is the 4th best record in the conference. And that as they and Marquette are the 2 4-loss teams in the conference so far. Taking a look at what is going down with the 13th ranked team in the nation, the Michigan State Spartans would go to New Jersey and face off against the unranked Rutgers Scarlet Knights. Rutgers would upset the 13th ranked Spartans. They won this game 84-63. They won this game by 21 after they outscored Michigan State by 19 in the second half. On the losing end of this matchup, the 13th ranked Spartans were led in scoring by their starting forward, Gabe Brown. Their starting senior out of Ypsilanti, Michigan, would finish with 20 points and 5 rebounds in 35 minutes. He shot 7 for 9 from the field and 6 for 7 from 3. On the winning end of this matchup, the hometown Rutgers Scarlet Knights were led in scoring by their starting forward, Ron Harper Jr., and their starting center, Clifford Omoruyi. Harper Jr. would finish with 17 points, all of this in 33 minutes. He shot 6 for 14 from the field and 3 for 4 from the foul line. Omoruyi finished with 17 points and 2 blocks in 30 minutes as he shot a perfect 6 for 6 from the field. With this win, the unranked Rutgers Scarlet Knights are 13-9. They are 7-5 in the Big Ten. With this loss, the 13th ranked Michigan State Spartans are 17-5. They are 8-3 in the Big Ten. They are one of 4 teams in the conference that have 3 losses so far. Taking a look at what's going on with the 14th ranked team in the nation, the Texas Tech Red Raiders would go to West Virginia to face off against the unranked Mountaineers. Texas Tech beat West Virginia 60-53. They won this matchup by 7 after they outscored West Virginia by 13 in the second half. On the winning end of this matchup, the 14th ranked Red Raiders were led in scoring by their starting forward, Bryson Williams. Their starting senior out of Fresno, California, would finish with 15 points and 5 5 rebounds as well as 3 steals and 2 blocks in 33 minutes. He shot 5 for 15 from the field and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. With this win, the 14th ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders are 18-5. They are 7-3 in the Big 12. They are tied with Baylor for the second best record behind Kansas. With this loss, the unranked West Virginia Mountaineers are 13-9. They are 2-7 in the Big 12. That is currently the worst conference record. Taking a look now at what is going on with the 18th ranked team in the nation, the Illinois Fighting Illini would face off against the unranked Indiana Hoosiers. Illinois would beat Indiana 74-57. They won this matchup by 17. I saw a statistic saying that this is the biggest they've beat Indiana by at Indiana since the 50s. Indiana would win this game by 17 after they outscored Indiana by 19 in the second half to overcome their 2-point deficit. On the winning end of this matchup, the 18th ranked Illini were led in scoring by their starting guard, Trent Frazier. Their starting senior out of Florida would finish with 23 points in 36 minutes. He shot 8 for 11 from the field, 3 for 6 from 3, and he shot a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. With this win, the 18th ranked Illinois Fighting Illini are 17-5. They are 10-2 in the Big Ten. They currently hold the best record in the conference. With this loss, the unranked Indiana Hoosiers are 16-6. They are 7-5 in the conference so far. In addition to this matchup, taking a look at what went down with the 20th ranked team in the nation, the Iowa State Cyclones will go to Austin, Texas to face off against the 23rd ranked Texas Longhorns. Texas would end up beating Iowa State 63-41. The Longhorns won this matchup by 22 after they outscored Iowa State by 20 in the second half. On the losing end of this matchup, the 20th ranked Cyclones were led in scoring by their starting guard, Isaiah Brockington. He finished with 12 points and 8 rebounds in 34 minutes. He shot 5 for 17 from the field and a perfect 2 for 2 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the 23rd ranked Texas Longhorns were led in scoring by their starting guard, Marcus Carr, their senior out of Toronto, Ontario, and then their guard off the bench, Andrew Jones. Carr finished with 14 points, 5 rebounds, and 8 assists in 34 minutes. He shot 6 for 12 from the field and 2 for 4 from 3. Jones finished with 14 points and 2 steals in 23 minutes. He shot 5 for 10 from the field, and he shot 4 for 7 from 3. With this win, the 23rd ranked Texas Longhorns are now 17-6. They are now 6-4 in the Big 12. That is the 4th best record in the conference. With this loss, the 20th ranked Iowa State Cyclones are now 16-7. They are now 3-7 in the Big 12. They are tied with Oklahoma for the second worst record in the Big 12, despite being a ranked team. Taking a look at what is going on with the 21st ranked team in the nation, the Xavier Musketeers hosted the unranked DePaul Blue Demons. DePaul would beat Xavier 69-65. They won this matchup by 4 after they outscored Xavier by 7 in the first half. On the losing end of this matchup, the 21st ranked Xavier Musketeers were led in scoring by their starting guard, Paul Scruggs, in front of the hometown fans. The senior out of Indianapolis would finish with 21 points and 6 rebounds, as well as 5 turnovers in 33 minutes. He shot 7 for 13 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3 as well. On the winning end of this matchup, the unranked DePaul Blue Demons were led in scoring by their guard off the bench, Corvazier McCauley. He will go on to finish with 21 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals in 28 minutes. He shot 8 for 12 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and he would make his only free throw attempt of the day. With this win, the unranked DePaul Blue Demons are now 11-10. They are now 2-9 in the Big East. With this loss, the 21st ranked Xavier Musketeers are now 16-6. They are 6-5 in the Big East. That is the 5th best record in the conference, as they and Creighton are the 2 teams with 5 losses in conference play. Taking a look at what's going on with the 22nd ranked team in the nation, the Tennessee Volunteers will go to Columbia, South Carolina, and beat the unranked South Carolina Gamecocks 81-57. Tennessee beat South Carolina by 24 after they outscored South Carolina by 20 in the second half. On the winning end of this matchup, the 22nd ranked Vols were led in scoring by their starting guard, Josiah Jordan James. Their junior out of South Carolina would finish with 20 points and 3 steals, as well as 3 blocks in 36 minutes. He would shoot 7 for 14 from the field, 4 for 9 from 3, and he made both of his free throws on the day. With this win, the 22nd ranked Tennessee Volunteers are 16-6. They are 7-3 in the SEC. They are tied with Arkansas for the third best record in the conference. With this loss, the unranked South Carolina Gamecocks are 13-9. They are 4-6 in the SEC. They are one of 5 6-loss teams in the conference right now. Last but not least, taking a look at what's going on with the 25th ranked team in the nation, also within the SEC, the LSU Tigers would go to Nashville, Tennessee to face off against the unranked Vanderbilt Commodores. Vanderbilt would beat LSU 75-66. They won this game by 9 after they outscored LSU by 18 in the first half. On the losing end of this matchup, the 25th ranked LSU Tigers were led in scoring by their starting forward, Tari Eason. He would finish with 16 points and 5 steals in 23 minutes. He shot 4 for 10 from the field and 8 for 10 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the unranked Vanderbilt Commodores were led in scoring by their starting guard, Rodney Chapman, out of Lithonia, Georgia. He would go on to finish with 24 points in 34 minutes. He would go on to shoot 9 for 14 from the field and 6 for 10 from 3. With this win, the unranked Vanderbilt Commodores are 12-10. They are 4-6 in the SEC, and they are one of 5 teams in the SEC that has 6 losses at the moment, or one of 6 teams. And with this loss, the 25th ranked LSU Tigers are now 16-7. They are also 4-6, sitting alongside Texas A&M, Alabama, South Carolina, Vanderbilt, and also Missouri. Those are the ranked opponents, the ranked matchups that took place yesterday, because Saturdays are usually pretty big for college basketball. Taking a look at what's going on today at noon, at 12 o'clock on FS1, the unranked Georgetown Hoyas are going to host the 15th ranked Providence Friars in Capital One Arena in D.C. Providence enters this matchup with a 9-1 record in the Big East. That is the best record in the conference. At 1 o'clock on CBS, the 16th ranked Ohio State Buckeyes are going to host the unranked Maryland Terrapins on CBS. Ohio State is 6-3 in the Big Ten. And then at 6 o'clock, the 6th ranked Houston Cougars are going to go to Cincinnati, face off against the unranked Bearcats on ESPN2. Houston enters this matchup with an 8-0 record in the American Conference. So that is everything that's going on there. Taking a look at what's going on in the NFL, today is the Pro Bowl as the AFC Pro Bowlers are going to face off against the NFC Pro Bowlers. I will give a preview to the Pro Bowl and, of course, give a hint to give the nod and the recognition to the players that were recognized in a piece immediately following this. And once this Pro Bowl is played, the next and finals football game of the 2021-2022 season will be the Super Bowl that will be played next Sunday at 6:30. But we are getting ready for the penultimate football game today. Taking a look at what went down in the NBA yesterday, starting off in Orlando, the Magic hosted the Memphis Grizzlies. The Grizzlies would beat the Orlando Magic 135-115. The Grizzlies won this game by 20 after they outscored the Magic by 14, or they were able to outscore the Magic by 13 in the first quarter, by 20 for the first half. And then on the losing end of this matchup, the hometown Orlando Magic were led in scoring by their starting point guard out of UNC, Cole Anthony. He finished with 22 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists in 31 minutes. He shot 8 for 14 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. Their starting center out of Duke, Wendell Carter Jr., would finish with 12 points and 10 rebounds in 23 minutes. He shot 4 for 10 from the field and 4 for 6 from the foul line as the two top performers on the Magic were on Duke and UNC, as UNC were playing against one another. On the winning end of this matchup, the Memphis Grizzlies were led in scoring by their elite starting point guard, Ja Morant. He finished with 33 points, 5 rebounds, 7 assists, and 2 blocks in 29 minutes. He shot 14 for 21 from the field. He shot 1 for 3 from 3 and a perfect 4 for 4 from the foul line. Their starting power forward, Jaren Jackson Jr., finished with 21 points and 6 rebounds in 29 minutes. He went on to shoot 8 for 19 from the field and 3 for 5 from the foul line. Their shooting guard off the bench, DeAnthony Melton, finished with 16 points and 10 rebounds in 22 minutes. He shot 6 for 13 from the field and 4 for 8 from 3. Their starting center, Steven Adams, finished with 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists in 23 minutes. He shot a perfect 6 for 6 from the field. With this win, the Memphis Grizzlies are 37-18. That is the third best record in the Western Conference. They've won their last 2 games and they've won 7 of their last 10. They sit 6.5 games behind the Western Conference leading Phoenix Suns. With this loss, the Orlando Magic are now 12-42. That is the worst record in the Eastern Conference. They've lost 6 of their last 10 games, as they currently sit 17 games behind the 8 seed Boston Celtics out east. With this, or I guess in addition to this, jumping out to Charlotte, the Charlotte Hornets hosted the Miami Heat. The Heat were able to beat the Hornets 104-86. The Heat won this matchup by 18 after they outscored the Hornets by 27 in the third quarter. They outscored the Hornets 35-8, holding the Hornets, a team that's in playoff position, to single digits in an NBA quarter. On the losing end of this matchup, the hometown Hornets were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard, Terry Rozier. He finished with 16 points and 6 rebounds, as well as 5 turnovers in 32 minutes. He shot 6 for 12 from the field, 3 for 5 from 3, and he shot 1 for 2 from the foul line. Their elite starting point guard and last year's Rookie of the Year, LaMelo Ball, finished with 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He would do all this in 22 minutes as he shot 5 for 11 from the field and 2 for 6 from 3. On the winning end of this matchup, the Miami Heat were led in scoring by their elite starting small forward out of Marquette, Jimmy Butler. He finished with 27 points and 6 rebounds, as well as 4 assists in 29 minutes. He shot 10 for 13 from the field and a perfect 7 for 7 from the foul line. Their starting center, Bam Adebayo, finished with 20 points, 12 rebounds, 3 assists, and 3 steals and 2 blocks, all in 28 minutes. He shot 7 for 21 from the field and 6 for 7 from the foul line. With this win, the Miami Heat are now 34-20. That is the second best record in the Eastern Conference. They've won their last 2 games. They've won 6 of their last 10. They sit even with the Bulls, even though they've won 1 more game and they've won 1 less. Or they've lost 1 more game than the Chicago Bulls as well. But they are holding on to that second spot, sitting 1 game ahead of the 3rd seed Milwaukee Bucks. With this loss, the Charlotte Hornets are now 28-26. That is the 9th best record in the Eastern Conference. They've lost their last 4 games. That is the second longest active losing streak in the Eastern Conference. They've lost 6 of their last 10 games. They currently sit a game behind the 8 seed Boston Celtics out east. Taking a look at what went down in our nation's capital, the Washington Wizards hosted the Phoenix Suns, who hold the best record in the NBA. The Suns beat the Wizards 95-80. They won this matchup by 15 after they outscored the Wizards by 12 in the first quarter and 15 in the second. They were up by 27 at halftime. On the losing end of this matchup, the hometown Washington Wizards were led in scoring by their center off the bench, former NBA Sixth Man of the Year, Montrezl Harrell. He finished with 15 points and 7 rebounds in 23 minutes. He shot 5 for 12 from the field and a perfect 5 for 5 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the Phoenix Suns were led in scoring by their starting center, former first overall pick, DeAndre Ayton out of Arizona. He finished with 20 points, 16 rebounds, and 2 steals in 24 minutes. He shot 8 for 14 from the field and 4 for 5 from the foul line. Their elite starting point guard, Chris Paul, their 12-time All-Star, finished with 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists in 31 minutes. He shot 6 for 12 from the field, 1 for 5 from 3, and 1 for 2 from the foul line. Their elite starting shooting guard, Devin Booker, finished with 11 points, 7 rebounds, and 5 assists in 30 minutes. He shot 5 for 14 from the field and 1 for 6 from 3. With this win, the Phoenix Suns are 42-10. That is the best record in the Western Conference. They've won 9 of their last 10. They are the first team in the NBA to officially clinch a winning record, as they've officially won. They're the only team that's won at least 80% of their games. They sit 2.5 games ahead of the second place Golden State Warriors in the Western Conference. With this loss, the Washington Wizards are now 24-28. That is the 5th worst record in the Eastern Conference. They've lost 8 of their last 10 games. They sit 4 games behind the 8 seed Boston Celtics out east. Taking a look at what went down in the Crypto.com arena, the Los Angeles Lakers hosted the New York Knicks. The Lakers beat the Knicks 122-115 after they outscored the Knicks 11-4 in overtime. On the losing end of this matchup, the New York Knicks were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard out of Duke, R.J. Barrett. He finished with 36 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists in 50 minutes. He shot 13 for 28 from the field, 4 for 10 from 3, and 6 for 9 from the foul line. Their starting power forward out of Kentucky, Julius Randle, finished with 32 points, 16 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 blocks, and 5 turnovers in 41 minutes. He shot 11 for 22 from the field, 2 for 4 from 3, and he shot 8 for 10 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the hometown LA Lakers were led in scoring by their goated starting small forward LeBron James and their starting shooting guard Malik Monk out of Kentucky. LeBron James finished with 29 points, 13 rebounds, and 10 assists in 40 minutes. He shot 13 for 24 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3, and 1 for 2 from the foul line. Malik Monk finished with 29 points in 39 minutes. He shot 11 for 20 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3, and 3 for 4 from the foul line. The Lakers' elite starting power forward, Anthony Davis, finished with 28 points, 17 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 steals, and 4 blocks in 41 minutes. He shot 13 for 19 from the field, and he will go on to shoot 2 for 5 from the foul line. With this win, the Los Angeles Lakers are 26-28. That is the 9th best record in the West. They've won 4 of their last 10 games. They sit a full game behind the 8 seed LA Clippers, outside of the Western Conference playoff picture. With this loss, the New York Knicks are 24-29. That is the 4th worst record in the East. They've lost their last 2 games and they've lost 8 of their last 10. They currently sit 4.5 games behind the 8 seed Boston Celtics outside of the Eastern Conference playoff picture. Jumping out to Portland in the Moda Center, the Trailblazers hosted the defending champs Milwaukee Bucks. The Bucks would beat the Trailblazers 137-108. The defending champs won this game by 29 after they outscored Portland by 16 in the first half and 16 in the third quarter. On the losing end of this matchup, the hometown Portland Trailblazers were led in scoring by their starting shooting guard Anthony Simons and their shooting guard off the bench Ben McLemore. Simons finished with 19 points and 5 turnovers in 28 minutes. He shot 7 for 17 from the field and 5 for 13 from 3. Ben McLemore finished with 19 points in 28 minutes. He shot 5 for 13 from the field, 4 for 12 from 3, and 5 for 6 from the foul line. Their starting center, Yusuf Nurkic, finished with 11 points and 10 rebounds, as well as 2 blocks in 25 minutes. He shot 5 for 6 from the field. And on the winning end of this matchup, the Milwaukee Bucks were led in scoring by their starting center out of Arkansas, Bobby Portis. Portis finished with 30 points and 5 assists, as well as 4 rebounds and 2 blocks in 24 minutes. He shot 11 for 13 from the field, 6 for 8 from 3, and 2 for 3 from the foul line. Their elite starting power forward and last year's NBA Finals MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo, finished with 29 points, 9 rebounds, and 6 assists in 25 minutes. He shot 7 for 12 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, and 11 for 15 from the foul line. With this win, the Milwaukee Bucks are now 33-21. That is the 3rd best record in the Eastern Conference. They've won their last 2 games and they've won 6 of their last 10. They currently sit a game behind the Chicago Bulls and Miami Heat for that top spot in the Eastern Conference. With this loss, the Portland Trailblazers are now 21-33. That is the 10th best record in the Western Conference. They've lost their last 5 games. That is the longest active losing streak in the Western Conference and the second longest active losing streak in the NBA, behind the Brooklyn Nets. The Trailblazers have lost 7 of their last 10 games. They currently sit 6 games behind the 8-seed LA Clippers out west. Taking a look at what went down in Sacramento, last but not least, the Kings hosted the Oklahoma City Thunder, and they would win this matchup by 10. They won this game 113-103. They would outscore the Thunder by 7 in the first half, and on the losing end of this matchup, the Thunder would be led in scoring by their starting shooting guard, Josh Giddey. Giddey finished with 24 points and 8 assists in 38 minutes. Their rookie shot 10 for 19 from the field and 3 for 5 from the foul line. On the winning end of this matchup, the hometown Sacramento Kings were led in scoring by their starting small forward, Harrison Barnes. He finished with 24 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals in 37 minutes. He shot 8 for 17 from the field and 6 for 9 from the foul line. Their other starting forward, Mo Harkless, finished with 18 points and 11 rebounds in 38 minutes. He shot 7 for 14 from the field and 4 for 8 from 3. With this win, the Sacramento Kings are now 20-35. That is the 3rd worst record in the Western Conference. They are now the 3rd to last team to have crossed the 20-win threshold in the West. They've won 2 of their last 10 games, and they currently sit 7.5 games behind the 8-seed LA Clippers out west. With this loss, the Oklahoma City Thunder are now 17-35. That is the 2nd worst record in the Western Conference. They've lost 7 of their last 10 games. They sit 9 games behind the 8-seed LA Clippers outside of that playoff seed. That is what the NBA is looking like following yesterday's matchups. And because today is Sunday, I'm going to look at what's going on today, starting off with what's going to be on primetime at 3:30 in Ball Arena in Denver. The Denver Nuggets, who are holding the 6th best record in the West, are going to host the Brooklyn Nets, who are holding the 6th best record in the East, as Kyrie Irving is eligible to play this game. At 6 o'clock on ESPN, the Dallas Mavericks, who are holding the 5th best record in the West, led by their elite starting shooting guard out of Slovenia, Luka Doncic, are going to host the Atlanta Hawks, who are holding the 10th best record in the East, led by their elite starting point guard out of Oklahoma, Trae Young, as the Hawks look to jump right back into that playoff picture. And then at 9 o'clock on NBA TV, the Los Angeles Clippers, who hold the 8th best record in the West by a game, are going to host the Milwaukee Bucks, the defending champs, who hold the 3rd best record in the East, are just 1 game behind the best record in the conference. Taking a look at what's not going to be on primetime, at 3:30, the Chicago Bulls are going to host the Philadelphia 76ers in the United Center. At the same time, at 3:30, the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to host the Detroit Pistons in the Target Center. At 6 o'clock, the Cleveland Cavaliers are going to host the Indiana Pacers at the Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. At the same time, at 6, the Orlando Magic are going to host the Boston Celtics at the Amway Center. At 7, last but not least, the Houston Rockets are going to host the New Orleans Pelicans in the Toyota Center in Houston. Taking a look at what's going on in the world of soccer before I get into the Olympics, starting off in the African Cup of Nations in the 3rd place matchup, Burkina Faso, who would make it into this matchup after finishing 2nd in Group A, would face off against Cameroon, who would make it here after finishing at the top of Group A. Not to mention that Burkina Faso made it here after losing to Senegal. Cameroon got here after losing to Egypt on penalty kicks. In this matchup, Burkina Faso would jump up to a 3-0 lead. Their first goal coming from Steve Iago in the 24th minute. Their second one coming off of a Cameroonian own goal. In the second half, Burkina Faso opened up the goal with a goal from Jibril Ouattara. They would hold a 3-0 lead until the 71st minute when Stefan Bahoken would score in the 71st minute. And then Vincent Abubakar finished in the 85th and 87th minutes to tie the game for Cameroon, and it would go to penalties, in which Cameroon would end up beating Burkina Faso for one of the craziest comebacks in AFCON history in order to finish with a third-place medal in front of their hometown countries as we prepare for the AFCON final that is going to take place today. Taking a look at what went down outside of AFCON in Europe, starting off in England with the FA Cup fourth round matchups. Chelsea hosted Plymouth Argyle in London. After Plymouth Argyle opened up the scoring with Macaulay Gillespie's 8th-minute goal, Chelsea would tie the game up with a goal from Cesar Azpilicueta, a backheel flick in the 41st minute. And this game would end up going to extra time, and it would be a 106th-minute goal from Marcos Alonso to put Chelsea up, and then their goalie would end up saving an extra time penalty with about 3 minutes to spare. And with this win, Chelsea will be one of the big Premier League teams to advance. Looking at one of the other Premier League teams to advance, one of the big ones, Manchester City hosted Fulham. In this matchup, Fulham will get the first goal from Fabio Carvalho in the 4th minute. Manchester City would immediately equalize it in the 2 minutes later from their German midfielder Ilkay Gundogan. Their second goal came from their defender John Stones, and then they would get a 5-minute brace from Riyad Mahrez in the second half to increase their 1-goal lead to 3. With this win, Manchester City advanced with ease past Fulham. And taking a look at another big Premier League team that was able to advance to the next round yesterday, Tottenham Hotspur hosted Brighton and Hove Albion. They were able to get the first goal of the game from Harry Kane. After an own goal, Brighton and Hove Albion would score a goal for themselves, making it 2-1. And then Harry Kane's second goal in the 66th minute would cement the brace for the English elite striker. And with this win, Tottenham Hotspur will advance into the 5th round of the FA Cup. Taking a look at what went down outside of England, jumping to Germany, the defending Bundesliga champs hosted RB Leipzig and were able to pull off a 3-2 win. First goal that came from Bayern München's goated center attacking midfielder Thomas Muller, as he was able to rebound the goal off of Levy's shot to put Bayern Munich up 1-0. And then RB Leipzig would equalize it in the 27th minute off of a goal from Andre Silva. Bayern Munich would jump right back up off of a goal from their goated Polish striker Robert Lewandowski, off of a header, off of an assist from Kingsley Coman. RB Leipzig would tie the game up with a 53rd minute goal from Christopher Nkunku, their rising superstar. And then Bayern Munich would score in the 58th minute after Serge Gnabry, their elite winger, would shoot it off of Josko Gvardiol, making it an own goal against RB Leipzig. And with this win, Bayern Munich sit on top, or they increased their lead slightly over second place Borussia Dortmund. They're up by 9 for the moment, putting the pressure on Borussia Dortmund to win their matchup. With this loss, RB Leipzig, who finished second in the Bundesliga last year, is now sitting 7th in the league this year. Taking a look now at what is going on in Italian Serie A. In Italy, yesterday we saw Lazio be able to beat Fiorentina, as their second goal of the matchup came from their elite Italian striker Ciro Immobile, as all 3 of the team's goals came in the second half. With this win, Lazio sits 6th in the Serie A, sit just about even with Roma, sitting 3 points behind 5th place Juventus. And also yesterday, it was the Milan derby, as Inter Milan faced AC Milan, the top 2 teams in Italy. Inter Milan would score the first goal of the game as Ivan Perisic would hit a volley off of a corner kick. AC Milan would sub Olivier Giroud in, and he would have a brace within a 4-minute span to put AC Milan up and give AC Milan a very crucial win. With this win, Milan now sits only 1 point behind Inter Milan, as Inter has 1 less game played. But this is a very big, very crucial win for AC Milan to move within arm's length of the top team in Serie A. So that is how soccer would, that's how the domestic leagues would be. And then, of course, taking a look at yesterday's matchup in the FIFA Club World Cup. This one would feature Al Ahly, and it would feature Monterrey. And in this matchup, Al Ahly would end up beating Monterrey, the South American champs, as Mohamed Hani would score in the 53rd minute to put them through to the third round of the FIFA Club World Cup. And that's everything that I have yesterday as it comes to soccer, because, of course, there was a lot of soccer, as soccer is picking up steam right about at this time of the year. Taking a look at what's going on with every league directly and finishing off with AFCON, going to the English FA Cup. Liverpool is going to face off against Cardiff City at 7 o'clock, as Liverpool looks to be yet another team to make it through, as they try to do so without their two elite wingers, Mohamed Salah and Sadio Mane, as they're competing against each other in AFCON. In La Liga, Barcelona is going to face off against Atletico Madrid, as Barcelona is holding the 5th best record in La Liga. Atletico is sitting 4th. Neither one of those teams can get higher than 4th, but of course this will be a very big game to see what can happen between the two. And the draw could very well see them getting jumped by Real Sociedad today as well. In Germany, Borussia Dortmund will face off against Bayer Leverkusen at home. Dortmund sits 9 points behind first place Bayern with one less game played, as Leverkusen holds on to the 3rd best record in Germany. They could give Dortmund a good deal of trouble, but Dortmund could, of course, still win the 3 points regardless, no matter what. Taking a look at what is going on in the FIFA Club World Cup, Al Hilal is going to face off against Al Jazeera, as this is going to be the second round matchup between the African champs and the Asian champs. Taking a look now at what's going on in the Serie A. Juventus is going to face off against Hellas Verona. Like I said earlier, Juventus is sitting 5th in Serie A. Napoli is going to face off against Venezia, as Napoli holds on to that 3rd spot in Serie A. Not to mention also that in Ligue 1, PSG is going to face off against the reigning Ligue 1 champs, Lille. Lille sits 11th in the table, as PSG sits first by 11 points over second place. And then last but not least, taking a look at what's going on today in the African Cup of Nations in Cameroon. It will be the final between Senegal and Egypt. Senegal would, of course, make it here after they finish at the top of Group B. Egypt made it here after finishing 2nd in Group D, and after winning every single one of their knockout games, they are finally here. And the winner of this matchup will be declared the champion of the 2022 AFCON tournament. And today I will do a preview for that tournament, but that's everything that I have in terms of soccer. Taking a look at the medals that came about yesterday on the second day of the Olympic schedule. In biathlon, the gold medal for mixed relay 4x6 kilometer was given to Norway. Silver was given to France, and bronze was given to the Russian Olympic Committee. Looking at the Olympic event of cross-country skiing and the women's 7.5 kilometer and 7.5 kilometer skiathlon, the gold was given to Joang Teresi of Norway, as the silver was given to Natalia Nepraeva and then of Russian Olympic Committee, and then Teresa Stadlerba of Austria would finish with the bronze. Taking a look at the other events that would finish. In the men's mogul final 3 in freestyle skiing, the gold medal would go to Walter Wahlberg of Sweden, as the silver was given to Canada, and Japan would win the bronze. And looking at short track speed skating, in the mixed team relay final A, the gold medal was given to the People's Republic of China. Italy would win silver. Hungary would win bronze. In the ski jumping event of women's normal hill individual final round, the gold medal was given to Orsa Bogataj of Slovenia. Slovenia would also take home a bronze medal, as Germany's Katharina Althaus would take home the silver. Looking at speed skating, the gold medal was given to, the gold medal in women's 3,000 meters was given to Irene Schouten of the Netherlands. The silver medal went to Italy, and the bronze medal went to Canada. And of course, following yesterday's matchups, Norway is in the lead in terms of gold medals won. And once all of today's medals have been counted, I will come back tomorrow to count everything that happened that happens from today. But with that said, that's everything that I have for you from yesterday. I want to thank the ESPN, the Olympics, the NFL, the NBA, NCAA, and FIFA websites for giving me all the facts and figures that I needed for this episode. Without them, I would not be able to do this. I want to thank everyone for listening to all 49 minutes. And once all of today's exhibitions and matchups are done, I am going to come back tomorrow on Monday, February 7th for another episode of The Elite. So until then, thanks for listening. I hope all is well, and I'll catch you with more tomorrow. Peace out.